Dear Mr. McCain, I hope you don't mind having a town hall meeting right here on YouTube and maybe taking a second to listen to a middle class American, a working class American. Take a second to listen and let me ask a few questions. How come when it comes to my needs or working class American needs, we hear the rhetoric about having to raise taxes or big government or bureaucrats between me and my doctor? How come when it comes to our needs we hear that kind of rhetoric, but when it comes to oil company needs, when it comes to big business needs, when it comes to public servant needs, after all, your health care is taken care of by us, our taxes. We don't hear that. We don't hear that rhetoric. We don't hear about bureaucrats between you and your doctor. But you're getting health care because of our taxes. Our taxes pay for your health care. So what's the difference? How come my taxes that I pay for, middle class American taxes, can't have the same health care that you have? How come it's a bureaucrat between me and my doctor when it comes to me, but it's not when it comes to you or Congress? It's BS is what it is. It's pure BS in politics. I hear politicians talk about raising taxes when it comes to taking care of middle class American needs. That's what I hear a lot about. BS again. What we need to hear from politicians is stop wasting our tax dollars on things we don't need. God, you guys are spending in a second billions of dollars on programs that we don't need, but when it comes to our needs, you give us hours of BS. Hours of words that don't mean anything. But when it comes to your needs, when it comes to self-promoting needs for your careers, for public servant careers, for bridges to nowhere, for pork belly spending, we don't hear about big government. But when it comes to our needs, we hear about raising taxes. It's just a scare tactic. You don't need to raise taxes. You got plenty of money. You know it. You just got to stop wasting it. Come spend a month in my house. Come spend a month and live with me. Get out of your $500 shoes and your limousine and come spend a month living with me, and you'll learn how to budget your dollar to survive. You don't have the luxury of wasting money in my family on things we don't need. You spend more to entertain lobbyists at parties that's paid for by our tax dollar than I probably make in a lifetime. They spend more money on these wasteful congressional hearings than I'll make in a lifetime. These congressional hearings is a waste of time. It is this self-promoting FaceTime on TVs for these self-righteous politicians who are about as crooked as anybody. They are the last people who should be judging someone's character integrity. They need to take a hard look in the mirror, especially when they abuse the middle class Americans like they do, especially when they abuse my tax dollar like they do, because we're tired of it. We're not ignorant. We're not stupid. We know there's plenty of tax dollars out there for our needs. You just got to decide to spend them on them and not give us BS. We need health care. We have people who don't have health care. They can't afford it. And the reason they can't afford it is because of these self-serving politicians, these lobbyists, the insurance lobbyists, who represent the wealthiest in America. While we go unnoticed, Hillary is right. We are invisible because we don't have the money or the resources to lobby in Washington, D.C. We continue to pay our taxes. We continue being law-abiding citizens while we get ignored and we listen to BS. God forbid if anybody has ever been a POW. I can sympathize with that dilemma in your life. But most of your life has been a public servant. And that's what really is your character about. Because anybody who had any integrity, the type of integrity, would never, ever put out an advertisement to distort the truth, to mislead the American people. I call it the Bush tactics. Your campaign is run just like George Bush runs this country. Just like he got us in the war. He used misleading, He distorted the truth to get support from the American people to fight a war in Iraq we didn't need. It was lies. And you're doing the same thing in your campaign. American people got to ask themselves if this is how you run your campaign, if this is not how you're going to run your country. If this is how this type of people you surround yourself with in your campaign, isn't it just another George Bush who surrounded himself by a bunch of political yes men who distorted the truth, who fed us misleading information from a WMD report so he could get our support? And of course we gave him our support because we believe in our president. We believe they're going to look out for us. Well, 8 years of George Bush taught us differently. And your campaign, your sickening advertisements, has no character, has no integrity. And if you want to win this, at least win it honorably. Not with the same tactics that Bush used to get support for a war. But that's exactly what you're doing. If you want a lesson on Budget 101, come live with me for a month. Get out of your limousine. I challenged any congressional leader. They couldn't handle it. I came to them and said, you know what? I'm going to let you run my family budget for a month. They couldn't handle it because they couldn't go anywhere and raise taxes to get more money for my family. It would probably waste it. They couldn't survive. Yet we ask these people to identify with middle class America. You don't have no idea what we go through. So surround yourself with your elitists. Surround yourself with lobbyists. Get yourself economists. And thinks we're a bunch of whiners. That's the kind of people we need representing this country. Who thinks that tells you something right there. So don't talk to me about your military career. Don't talk to me about character. Don't talk to me about integrity. Show me. Show me. And it starts with the stupid ads you put out there. If you have any character, it's your ads. It's your people that it's putting these ads out. Show that you really do have what you say you have. But I don't think so. Dirty politics. You're playing dirty politics now. You go into the White House, you surround yourself with the same type of people you surround yourself with now. And if they don't conform to the way you like things, like Mr. Obama doesn't go to your town hall meetings, you say, I'm going to get back at you by playing dirty politics. When you're in the White House, if we don't conform to the way you want things, you're going to mislead us, you're going to distort the truth, you're going to play dirty politics. Yeah, we need another 4 years of that type of political tactics. We need another 4 years where a president sits on his pedestal and surrounds himself by people who doesn't have the foggiest idea what it takes to survive in this country, who doesn't know what it's about when you have to worry about paying for your health care or you don't have any health care, who doesn't know what it's about when you got to worry about paying for your mortgage or if you can afford to pay for your utility bill, who doesn't know what it's about when not only they got to deal with the sickening, outrageous, bureaucratic crap at federal level, they got to deal with the state government and the local government who's just as bad. We should be embarrassed. Our political leaders should be embarrassed. We live in the richest country in the world, yet we have millions of people without health care. Because we're more concerned about the greed and the money that runs our political system. It's filtered down to the very basic needs that Americans have to have. You talk about change, Mr. McCain, you talk about change for one reason, because you know that's what American people want to hear. You cherry pick your words, just like Bush cherry picked his words and distorted the truth to get us into a Iraq war. A war that was a mistake. A war that killed thousands of our men because a president of the United States cherry picked our word. We don't need that type of president anymore. You talk about change, and I fear the type of change we're going to see is the change for the privileged few, the change for the lobbyists for the better, and the change that we will receive, the change for the working class Americans, will be for the worse. We don't need that type of change. No, thank you. We need a president who represents middle class, hard-working Americans.